Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another brand new episode of Untitled Nonsense. My name is Josh Fauner, and today I'm not joined by anybody. Today we're starting a new era in Untitled Nonsense. We're going to be coming to you live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Untitled Nonsense. My name is Josh Fauner, and today I'm not joined by anybody. Today we're starting a new era in Untitled Nonsense. There might not be anybody with me as a consequence of that. If we have somebody here, great. We'll have a revolving uh revolving cast of co-hosts that come in and help us out and have fun with us here in the Untitled Nonsense studio. But otherwise it's just going to be me and you guys. So if you want to call in and talk, the number to call in is 603 267 0521. That's 603 267 0521. Now I hit the start button. I didn't really get ready though. So let's consider this a cold open and see if we can get the opening ready here, because I think I figured out how to do it without blowing all your eardrums out. So give me just a second here, and we will have the opening for you. It's Untitled Nonsense. Nonsense, rushed by the wisest. Yes, and we are back. If you didn't hear that, I'll have to work on that because I heard it in my headphones. Anyway, moving on. uh, in this with this new Untitled Nonsense version, shall we say, another new version, which it's getting to be like Untitled Nonsense is pretty much like Nine Inch Nails at this point. And I hate comparing myself to Trent Reznor because I fucking despise Trent Reznor, and I might as well put this out there. I'm so goth I shit bats. But unlike most goth people, I really don't like Trent Reznor. I think most of Nine Inch Nails music can be summed up with a with pretty simple equation uh, of sexual reference, swear, pseudo intellectual babble, um, another out of place sexual reference, and more swearing. And that's the music is fantastic. I love his music. Don't get me wrong. For instance, when he put out Ghosts, which was just a 4 album set of all electronic music, it was fantastic. It was amazing. But I do not like Trent Reznor's lyrics. Anyway, enough about that. So we'll start off here with the pressing news of the day. Starting off here with Operation Trump. Anonymous has ramped up Operation Trump. They started Op Trump last year because Anonymous doesn't like Trump, and who can blame him? I mean, honestly, who can blame him? It's American Psycho incarnate. I but at this point they've given him, I think it was, let me check where we're at right now. optrump2016.com. If you go to optrump2016.com, it should pull up the video, and um, oh yeah, it's right now we have 3 hours, 45 minutes, and 53 seconds left. Anonymous is saying Trump has to suspend his campaign by the time this timer hits 0, or they will release some information or do something that will make him suspend his campaign. Will embarrass him immensely. I mean, I'll go ahead and play the audio here for you. We'll play the hang on. Bring the level way down on that. And it's just a spinning globe, the Anon News typical graphic.
By 0.
There you have it. So that is the Op Trump 2016 video on optrump2016.com with Anonymous um, threatening Donald Trump with what we don't know right now. There are plenty of rumors that it has something to do with tax information, that has something to do with something hidden in his taxes that we have not seen. This is something Mitt Romney has hinted at previously. He said that we should be looking at Trump's taxes, that there's something in there that we haven't seen. So we'll find out in a few hours here. I'm sure we'll have the information here for you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Untitled Nonsense. We'll follow the story. Oh, shut up, Anonymous. There. Okay, thank you. So yeah, who knows? And I know John Oliver. John Oliver did a whole thing on Trump, something about his family's original name being Drumpf or something like that. I still have yet to watch it. I will definitely be watching it this evening, though. And let's see. Moving on, we have last night, of course, was the Oscars, the biggest circle jerk in Hollywood. Now, of course, me being an aspiring director, everybody shits on the Oscars, but everybody wants an Oscar, me included. I shit on the Oscars, but like I'm not gonna go, oh, I can't accept this if they give me an Oscar at some point in the future. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna accept graciously. Like, but I'm getting told that I sound just like Garfield. Fantastic. It's a Monday. I I have not been told that I sound like Garfield. That's a first. Um. So, anyway, yes, biggest circle jerk in Hollywood. Everybody wants an Oscar. Everybody shits on the Oscars. Um, I mean, and rightfully so. The Oscars is really an antiquated thing, and it's really just a small group of people congratulating each other, and that's all. That's all there is to it. Um, and it's it's a huge waste of money. They spend there are probably millions of dollars spent on this one night, um, and it's for what? So they can tell each other good job for playing. I mean, I know I am an actor too. I know how difficult acting is. I'm not diminishing that, but come on, come on. All right, so best picture Spotlight, which surprised me not in a bad way. I actually really liked Spotlight. I when I heard what it was and what it was about, I had to watch it right away. I grew up in that area. I was in New Hampshire. I grew up in that area around that time, and it was that particular story was very affecting to me. Made me have to deal with a lot of personal issues from my own past when that came up, because I was in my teen years at that point. But it was a great film, and I'm really glad that it won Best Picture. Now, it was what? Now let me pull up the whole nominee list. Um, Oscar 2016 nominee list. Hang on here. Here we go. Nominations. Complete list of nominees. Okay, so Best Picture, it was up against The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max, The Martian, The Revenant, and Room. Now, I personally would have liked Mad Max to take it, but that's just me. I'm very biased there. But I do like that Spotlight took it. I think Spotlight deserved it. It did not deserve it. I'll put it that way. Actress in a leading role. The nominees were Saoirse Ronan for Brooklyn, Charlotte Rampling for 45 Years, Jennifer Lawrence for Joy, Brie Larson for Room, and Kate Blanchett for Carol. And Brie Larson won for Room. I have not seen Room yet, but I've heard a lot about it, and it is on my list to see. And I've loved Brie Larson since I saw her in United States of Terra. So it's really cool to see her, you know, come up and get an Oscar. It's great. So supporting actor, it was Christian Bale for Big Short, Tom Hardy for The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo for Spotlight, Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies, or Sylvester Stallone for Creed, and Mark Rylance won it for Bridge of Spies. I have not seen Bridge of Spies. I don't know if I will. I didn't really look into it that much. I'll have to look into it and see if it piques my interest. Um, Actress in a supporting role: Jennifer Jason Leigh for Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara and Carol, Rachel McAdams in Spotlight, Alicia Vikander in Danish Girl, or Kay Winslet and Steve Jobs. And Alicia Vikander won for Danish Girl. Actress, I mean, I of course I'm a huge Tarantino fanboy, so I would have wanted Jennifer Jason Leigh to win it. But I'm very biased there, so I can't say who really should have won that. Um, Animated feature film, Anomalisa, Boy in the World, Inside Out, Shaun the Sheep movie, and When Marnie Was There. And the winner was Inside Out. That's not surprising, of course, that Pixar won, but what does surprise me is that it won over such a obvious Oscar bait film, like Anomalisa. Um, Not that Anomalisa looks bad. It's just with that story and that director and that style, it's Oscar bait. So it surprises me that Inside Out won over it. Um, Cinematography: Carol, The Hateful Eight, Mad Max, The Revenant, or Sicario. The Revenant won that. I mean, I can't agree with that. Just because, I mean, Hateful Eight was shot in 70 millimeter. You got to give it to the cinematography on that. Either that or Mad Max. I can't agree with the cinematography winning on Revenant. It would either be Hateful Eight or Mad Max for me. Um, Costume design, actually, um, the first of six for Mad Max. Uh, but it was between Mad Max, Carol, Cinderella, The Danish Girl, or The Revenant. Um, Obviously, costume design for The Revenant was amazing and brutal. But get the fuck out of here with all those with all that period piece shit. Give me Mad Max Fury Road, damn straight. It won the Oscar. Um, and it went on to win 5 other Oscars. Let me see, what were the other Oscars it won? Film editing, which is great because the editing on it was amazing. Um, Makeup and hairstyling, uh, production design, sound editing, and sound mixing, which they are all they're consolation Oscars. They really are. We're sorry we couldn't give you the real Oscars because we had a more important film to give them to this year. Here's the other Oscars, but I mean it's great that it won 6 of them. Um, Especially considering genre movies never win Oscars, and this is about as genre movie as it gets. Holy shit. Um, let's see. Documentary. We had Amy, Cartel Land, The Look of Silence, What Happened, Miss Simone, and Winter on Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom. And Amy One, which is a documentary on Amy Winehouse. Um, have not seen any of those. I normally like documentaries. None of those documentaries really appeal to me, though. So I can't say what was the best there. Uh, let's see. Original score: Ennio Morricone wins his first Oscar for Hateful Eight, which is incredible considering how old he is and how he's got like 500 credits in the industry for music. But I think he'll rethink his position on not wanting to work with Tarantino again now that Tarantino got him an Oscar. Um, I mean, not that there was much else going for original score. The other ones were Bridge of Spies, Carol, Sicario, and Star Wars, and none of them were great. I mean, even Star Wars, the Star Wars score borrowed heavily from the original Star Wars, and it didn't really break much new ground when it comes to new motifs and whatnot. And so it wasn't really a great score. But Hateful Eight was amazing, and it deserved it, despite the fact that it didn't have much in the way of real competition this year. Um, Music, original song, Writings on the Wall from Spectre. I have not heard Spectre yet. Or seen Spectre yet, I should say. I want to. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But it was the other choices were Earned It from 50 Shades of Grey, Manta Ray from Racing Extinction, Simple Song number 3 from Youth, Till It Happens to You from The Hunting Ground, and Writing Is on the Wall, of course. I'm actually surprised Till It Happens to You didn't win the Lady Gaga rape song. That surprises me, especially considering they featured it on the show. So I don't know why they would trot her out and all those rape victims out and have them sing the song and then not give her the award. It just seems very odd to me. Let's see. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's see. Visual effects. Visual effects this year. The nominees were Ex Machina, Mad Max, Martian, Revenant, and Star Wars. And it went to Ex Machina, which I tend to agree with, because visual effects is not FX. It's not makeup effects. Visual effects um is CGI. Mad Max barely had any CGI in it. And what it did use, it used well, but Ex Machina was full of CGI, but it was fantastically used. And Star Wars CGI, it was full of it, but it wasn't it wasn't as good as Ex Machina's. So I think that was a good choice there. Let's see. Best adapted screenplay, Big Short. Best original screenplay, Spotlight. I mean, I don't understand why Eightful Eight wasn't nominated for original screenplay. The other one was for Bridge of Spies, Ex Machina, Inside Out, Spotlight, and Straight Outta Compton. Why was Inside Out was for writing, really, over fucking really? Okay, all right. But the yeah, so Spotlight took home 2 big ones. Oh yeah, and of course the 2 I didn't mention because I was saving them. Director Alejandro Inarritu for The Revenant. This is his second year in a row winning best director. I don't let me see if that's happened before. Like I don't know if back to back Oscars, back Oscar director. Here we go. Let's see what we can find. First back to back Oscar director in 65 years. Now, as you all know, last year, if you listened on Untitled Nonsense last year, I couldn't rave about Birdman enough. I thought it was brilliant, and I thought he deserved every award that he got for that, and that Birdman won every award that it, or deserved every award that it got. And but this year the pool for nominees for director pull up here. It was between The Big Short, Mad Max, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight. I mean, clearly, as much as I wanted The Revenant, as much as I love Inarritu, and I love the fact that he won back to back, and I loved Birdman, Mad Max was better than The Revenant. Like, it was a better movie. It was better movie. It was better. It was directed better. And I'm sorry, it was. I'm not going to say that Tom Hardy's a better actor than Leo. I think that if there was a comparable role to Mad Max for Leo, he would do just as well as Tom Hardy did, if not better. But I don't think that his role in Revenant was better than Tom Hardy as Mad Max. I and Which brings us to Leo. He did, of course, finally win his Oscar. He finally got his fucking Oscar, and they wouldn't play. They started to play him off, but he kept talking, and then they just cut the music. They were not going to play him off after not giving him that Oscar for so many years, and finally giving him the fucking consolation Oscar. Which let's be real. Let's be honest. This was a consolation Oscar. This was not Leo's best work. Not his best work. It was good. It was really good. He did he like really gave of himself for this role, but just because you give a lot for the role doesn't mean that it's gonna come out better than others, if you know what I mean. I think he's done better roles, and he should have gotten Oscars for those instead. And this was sorry we couldn't give it to you then. Here, let's give this to you now, so that instead of this being the hashtag Oscars so white year, this is the year that Leo won. So that the meme was squashed, which it killed the meme, of course, because it was a widespread meme. But with that, Oscar so white, Chris Rock did come out guns blazing. He made it very uncomfortable for white people in that room, which was hysterical, just absolutely hilarious, and lynching jokes and everything, just great. Before bringing out Girl Scouts and selling them cookies, it was fantastic. But people like Sean King from the Black Lives Matter movement said he went too far. I don't think that's true. I think that you can teach people things through laughter like that. I really do. Even when it's brutal like that. And I think I think that Chris Rock did a disservice to the black community, honestly, by not standing up and saying why do we need the validation of a bunch of white people. Which it's going to take somebody in the black community, somebody big in the black community, saying that for it to stick. Because in reality, fuck the Oscars. I mean, it's great, yeah, and it's great to brag on and all that stuff, but why the movies that I love, the movies that I make don't even get don't even get looked at. Horror movies? Get the fuck out of here. They take a look at a horror movie and tell you to go jump in a lake. Like, it's fucking anyway, so yeah, Oscars. Instead of it being Oscars so white 2016, it's the year that Leo won. That's what we're gonna leave it at. That's what the Academy pulled so that they could clean the slate. Moving on here. Just a moment. Yes. So moving on. We talked about Operation Trump. We talked about the Oscars. Now we're going to move on to another topic. Topic that I couldn't believe what I was reading when I read it. This is on medicalnewstoday.com. It's some kind of like aggregate site about, articles that are published in journals and whatnot. This is written by Tim Newman, published on February 23rd of this year, 2016. A paper published this week in the Journal of Medical Ethics asks whether some forms of female genital mutilation should be legalized in America. They argue that not allowing minor versions of the operation is a form of cultural prejudice. Yeah, you heard that right. In many countries, the practice is extremely prevalent and shows little sign of slowing. In Egypt, for instance, between 2006 and 2011, the percentage of girls undergoing female genital mutilation only dropped from 77.8% to 71.6%. In one study conducted in Somalia, 81% of subjects underwent infibulation, which is the complete excision of the clitoris, labia minora, and most of the labia majora, and only 3% did not have any form of female genital mutilation. Imagine that. 3% of women didn't get their vagina chopped up with a knife by some dude just because they felt like it was ugly. The fuck? But here we go. A recent paper written by Dr. Kavita Shah Arora, who is a woman of what seems to be Indian almost descent. I don't know what that area. She's from the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, of course, OBGYN, at Metro Health Medical Center in Cleveland. Of course, it's fucking Cleveland. And Alan J. Jacobs from the Department of, from OBGYN department at Stony Brook University. They put a new slant on the difficult topic. The paper, published alongside a series of responses from other experts, is likely to spark impassioned discourse. Yeah. Okay. Here's the main thrust of Dr. Aurora's argument. This is a quote from the article. Banning most minor female genital mutilation procedures is culturally insensitive and supremacist and discriminatory towards women. I'm going to repeat that because this that was published in the Journal of Medical Ethics states that banning of most minor female genital mutilation procedures is culturally insensitive and supremacist and discriminatory towards women. First off, how did culturally insensitive and supremacist and discriminatory get in a published article written in a journal? See. Moving on here in the article here, in most Western countries, including in the U.S. and U.K., female genital mutilation is banned in all of its forms, but this does not necessarily prevent individuals from countries where female genital mutilation is practiced from having their children altered. Some families take their daughters back to their country of origin to carry out the procedure. Others find someone in their local community who will undertake the procedure illegally. To combat this, Dr. Aurora and her colleagues believe that more time and thought needs to be devoted to finding some middle ground. So basically, what they're saying is, if you make if you make clit cutting illegal, only criminals will be clit cutters. I mean, it's so fucking ridiculous. Uh, they argue that some female genital mutilation procedures are little more than a nick in the vulvar skin and cause no long-term changes in the form or function of the genitalia. The authors consider that by categorizing the procedures along a scale of severity and renaming them as female genital alterations, some of the stigma might be dropped. The authors are careful to make clear that they are not arguing that any procedure on the female genitalia is desirable. We only argue that certain procedures ought to be tolerated by liberal societies. What? I mean, what where do we stop? If we start, like, I understand it's a slippery slope argument, but you can only be so culturally sensitive. You can only be so culturally sensitive. You know what happens at that point if you're if when you're so culturally sensitive? You get mobs of people in train stations groping and molesting women on New Year's Eve. You get aid workers that are killed by people that they're helping. Am I speaking out against refugees? No, not at all. I think that they need our help, absolutely. But I think that there needs to be some kind of middle ground found. I think that they need to work with, I think that the refugees need to work with the countries that they are being refuged by, that they are in. They need to put in the effort to fit into that culture. So yeah, I mean, and it's when your culture hurts somebody, that's a problem. Jill brings up a good point of foot binding. That's another thing. When your culture hurts somebody, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. All right. So I think that's I think we'll wrap it up today. Get a good show in today, and we'll be back here tomorrow. And if you would like to call, you can call in anytime and leave a message, and we will play it live on the air during the show. Or you can call in live during the show anytime from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or whenever we're live, of course. The number is 603-267-0521. That's 603-267-0521. So yeah, we'll wrap it up today, and I do want to thank you for listening. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Untitled Nonsense, twitter.com/UN_podcast. You can send us email at you can send me email, I should say, at untitledfauner, FONNER, at gmail.com. Or once again, you can call and leave a message and say whatever the hell you want to me, and we'll play it live on the air, and I'll respond at 603-267-0521. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Later.